Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. I took a mental health day off on Saturday, but I'm back here today. It's a Sunday afternoon as I'm doing this reading. Royals all got a bit much for me, I have to say, yesterday, but I'm back reinvigorated, and I have the Radiant Wire Spirit Tarot on the tarot table for the readings today. First thing I'm going to look at is this nonsense, what has been described as complete nonsense from Harry. I think he was talking to the Telegraph, in which he said that the removal of police protection was a ploy, basically to trap him and Meghan in the royal family, or basically to force them back in. And this is where he was also mouthing off about how shocked and upset he was about the things that had been discussed behind closed doors in the court case. And if we had heard that evidence, we wouldn't believe it and we'd all be stricken, basically. But anyway, he's telling this a new improved version of events of why Harry and Meghan exited, and all about the removal of police protection. This goes completely contrary to all the versions of events he's told us before. Harry and Meghan have told us that they left the royal family for mental health reasons, because Meghan wanted to off herself and because the royals were so cruel and uncaring. We've heard that they were forced out by the big bully Prince William. We've heard that they left because the royals weren't protecting them, I assume, from the press and the press's knowledge about things that go bump in the night. Now suddenly all change. No, the royals were trying to capture them and keep them in the royal family by removing their police protection. So naturally this has been met with quite firm denial. Interestingly, very quickly the denials came out, the rebuttals, as I say, being described as complete nonsense by senior police officials, senior members of the Home Office, and also royal insiders have come out and spoken against this. The Home Office says this is a new argument from Prince Harry, and we don't recall Harry or his lawyers making it at the time, meaning at the time when the whole security thing was first discussed. A royal insider says Harry seems unable to make up his mind. First, they left because the family was not protected. Now he's saying that the removal of security was a ploy to make them stay. Which is it? So he's not being allowed to get away with this complete change in narrative. I'm going to do a quick reading on this. And I'm going to ask why now. Some people are speculating that he's lost the case, that it was pretty clear in the hearings behind closed doors that he's lost. Other people, of course, are saying completely the opposite, that they think he's won and he's going to get his security back and get his costs. But so we're going to ask why, in the context of the case, is he now making this kind of wild claim? We're going to ask what he himself believes, because he seems so befuddled, and I think he is so drug-addled and so diminished in mental ability, capacity, whatever the word is, my personal opinion, that, which version of events does he actually believe at this point? Who does he blame for all of this? Be interesting to see what the cards tell us about that. And what does he really want? Because reading between the lines, to me it sounds as if he actually wants to be forced back into the royal family. He wants the royals to say, here you are, you can have your golden carriage and your marching bands and all the rest of it, and come back, dear boy, darling boy. So we're going to just have a quick look. You need to juice these cards up. Sorry it's taken a while. I know it can be irritating when this kind of thing happens, but they just need juice. Okay. Maybe. Let's remind you, tarot, for entertainment purposes, or my opinion, or speculation, just energy we read here. Disclaimer in the box below. Basic Rider-Waite Tarot, this deck, the Radiant Wire Spirit. Let's see what it has to tell us about this latest twist. Harry does seem quite happy to change his version of events depending on what he really wants people to believe. Yeah, we got the Ace of Wands in reverse. Upright, it's passion, new projects, new inspiration, new ideas, new passions, as I've said, just a very invigorated energy. It's in reverse. It tells me that he might have lost in court, and he might know this. I think the judgment's coming out quite quickly, and he might know he's lost. We're going to check this, but this is energy of like suppressed anger, resentment. Upright is it's a great expression of life force, fire, but in the good sense of fire. In reverse, it's anger that seethes and festers and can burn everything up. But it's also misdirected energy, the Ace of Wands in reverse, focusing on all the wrong things, losing your passion, losing your leadership ability, losing your inspiration, possibly losing a court case. So I think the main thing that Ace of Wands is telling us in reverse is that it's misdirected energy. He's just focusing on all the wrong things. And he tells us in the Telegraph that he's exhausted and he's upset and he's brokenhearted, and he'll never be able to forgive anyone in the family because of the things that were revealed behind closed doors in this court case. It's all there. It's seething. It's boiling with resentment. And I'm actually going to look at what's really going on with Harry and Meghan in the next big reading today, of why they're so all over the place and so in our faces that I had to take a mental health break yesterday. What is really going on with him? Seems to be reaching a crescendo of craziness. But we'll get to that in the next reading. That's our underlying energy situation, heart of the matter. What are we dealing with? Judgment in reverse. Again, I'm getting an indication he could have lost this court case because judgment has strong legal, it's the decision in a court case, really, and it's in reverse. So maybe he really has lost this case and it's the end of the road for him legally. I still think Pa's going to bail him out somehow and make it possible for him to come to the UK, at least with the kids, in the interim before Prince William takes over. That's my personal feeling based on a reading I did quite recently. But that judgment in reverse is first of all, looks like he could have lost this case. Even if it gets kicked back to Ravik, which wouldn't be a loss. It doesn't sound like Ravik is taking kindly to their protocols, their decision making being questioned as much as it's being by Harry, because they seem to think that they went bent over backwards to accommodate him and make a bespoke arrangement for him and his security. So it doesn't bode well for him. Judgment in reverse is also lack of forgiveness, and that would be his very negative attitude that he's expressed towards his family, and that he will never forgive them for this, whatever this is that he seems to feel so aggrieved about. Never forgive them. And the other thing that judgment is about is a second chance, a second coming, second go round. It's in reverse. He's not going to get another chance with this. This is the end of the road for him, it seems to be, with this whole thing. So pretty negative cards on the tarot table, not surprising. Why the sudden revision of history at this point? Why, in connection with a court case, does he feel the need to come out and bleat to the Telegraph about how the royal family was trying to trap him and Meghan as members of the royal family? And it's a complete change of tune. Why now? What's going on? I've got the Two of Pentacles, which isn't that sinister. It doesn't speak directly of losing a case, quite honestly. It's like appealing to both sides, like keeping your options open with that Two of Pentacles. So it's telling me more that he's messaging differently depending on what audience you are. Perhaps messaging to Meghan, see here, I'm doing your bidding, I'm out telling this tale that you want me to tell, but on the other hand, telling a different story to another audience. I'm getting he's playing both sides, and I'm not quite sure what that means. I'm getting it quite firmly, but I'm struggling to figure out which side he's playing and why this is going on now. It's because it's about a bit here and a bit there, the Two of Pentacles, keeping your balance, making sure that you accommodate all energy. And so it's not telling me directly that he's lost the case. These two cards are telling me directly that he's lost the case, potentially, or at least he's lost the case and they're going to not lose the case. He might get it kicked back to Ravik, as I've already said. So both options are in here. And this could be, this is what he's juggling. He could be juggling the possibilities. Lose the case, in which case, poor me. Nobody understands the trouble I've seen. Or going back to Ravik, I know what was really going on, and so you better decide differently this time around. That makes sense to me. It took a while to get there, sorry about that. It took a while to get there, and it took a while for my brain to kick into gear. It is taking a while for my brain to kick into gear at the moment. I'm doing a long fast for Lent, and so there's not much brain to go around at the moment, just saying. Anyway, let's get on to what he actually believes, because who knows at this point. We've heard so many versions by now, depending on the audience, and I'm still getting that energy. It depends on the audience who he is going to try and persuade with whatever version of events he wants to tell. He reminds me of those kids who tell one story to mom and one story to dad, particularly when there's a kind of parental split going on and they play to the gallery to manipulate. I'm getting that kind of energy in this card, just by the way. It's all my opinion, of course. So let's see what he really believes, if it's possible to find out what he actually thinks about all of this. Page of Cups in reverse. This is they owe me an apology. I think he really believes they were forced out. It's water sign. I think that he believes that they were kicked out, they were forced out, they weren't being protected. Inherent in it is the need for someone to say sorry. You weren't kind to us, you weren't supportive and loyal, and you didn't show us enough love and affection and protection and all of that. I don't believe that he honestly thinks that the police protection was removed to force him and Meghan back into the royal family, as if they had no alternative. Of course they had alternatives. They had all these deals stitched up already, and for sure the royal family knew that. They have access to all the best intelligence of the world. I'm sure they knew every step of the way what Harry and Meghan were up to, or could have known if they'd thought to ask. Apologize. It's very loud in that card, because you big bully forced us out, wouldn't let Meghan come to the meeting and listen in and record it for Oprah or for Netflix and all of that stuff. It's all in there. So who does he really blame for all of this? I've got the Four of Wands in reverse. I mean, that's just royal family. It's the firm. I always say this. It's literally the royal family as a family. So the family at large. It's not showing up distinctly as a person. Interestingly, I thought we'd get a hint of a person. But it's like the royal family shut the doors on them. And what I'm getting in this... Actually, I'm getting William and Catherine, because it's a young couple celebrating their wedding, and their future is secure because secured because they've got the castle in the background. So I'm getting there. William and Catherine we've heard it so many times, were jealous of the success that Harry and Meghan had achieved and the great popularity during their tours overseas, and William and Catherine couldn't stand it. They couldn't stand being shown up. Meghan whip smart, so much more accomplished than Catherine, so much more beautiful. The second Diana, all of that rot. Harry, much more popular than William, the people's prince, all of that rot. That's what's coming through for me. That they really believe it was jealousy on the part of William and Catherine, that William and Catherine were pleased to see them kicked out of the royal family. Now this is my opinion, is, as we always say, allegedly, and I'm even going to say wild speculation. So, what does he really want out of this whole drama? We know he wants the security back so he doesn't have to pay for it because he's a mean old thing. A mean old daddy. But what does he really want? Does he secretly want back in? Telling them that you were trying to force me back in, but really I want back in. I've got the Magician. Magician has all the power, all the tricks, all the secrets, all the information. Manifesting. I think he wants information. With that Magician card. Magician is Mercury. Mercury rules information. So I don't think he necessarily wants back in, although I do think secretly there's a part of him that does. But that's not what's really showing up. I think it's all about the information that he wants to get his hands on. Be interesting to think who is behind the need for that information. There's a lot of people who believe that Harry and Meghan are puppets of some sort of state, nefarious state actors, or some organization that's trying to infiltrate or undermine or bring down the royal family. There's that school of thought that has always been around. Let's do a quick ask. So why the information? I think that's what this Magician is telling me. Why the need for information? Who wants this information? I have seen this recently. I've seen the need to sell information, possibly. Speculating wildly. That card wants to come out. Let's see if it does. It hasn't, so we'll put it back and shuffle again. I have seen that in recent readings, and we're going to say allegedly. Got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. That's just popped out. When I say the Wheel of Fortune, I get an organization, a big global organization in my mind, the Wheel of Fortune, with those initials, the W and the F. Just saying, it's odd that that should pop up there, like that in reverse. It gives you the sense of control with the fixed signs around that Wheel of Fortune. Agendas, that kind of thing. That's pretty sinister. We might have to look at this notion that they are figureheads, puppets for more nefarious agencies, actors, whatever the word is. I have to put a big allegedly over all of this, particularly this. Huge big allegedly, and say it's wild speculation, it's all my opinion, and it's tarot for fun and entertainment. And that's where we're going to leave this reading. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.